the terrain would actually help manage some of the effects of global warming.
With climate change, we will have much heavier rainfall. Urban areas are hard, so the rain comes down and it goes into our stormwater systems and they back up very, very quickly. So we've very consciously from the beginning designed the park to be an absorbent park.
In periods of heavy rain, the park will manage the water flow to the River Thames, protecting 5,000 homes at risk from flooding. This strategy relied on planting trees and the creation of absorbent wetlands. A 130 kilometres southwest of Stratford, in Ampfield, Hampshire, horticulturalist Martin Hillier was preparing over 2,000 semi-mature trees for the Olympic Park.
We've been doing Chelsea Flower Show for well, the last 65 years we've had a goal. The pressure we're feeling is like doing a Chelsea Flower Show every day of the week.
Normally, trees are dug out of the ground in the autumn when they are dormant. But to meet the Olympic deadline, trees had to be delivered in the summer. Fortunately, Martin had a solution. He grew trees in specialised pots that let in the air and kept all of their roots above ground. These one-ton trees could be easily moved out of season. The trees would need at least a year to establish on site, so the first of over 200 deliveries got underway.
They're just tiny 20-year-old saplings, and they've got a long way to go. So all the development here is looking towards the future and supplying our children, grandchildren with the landscapes that Capability Brown did 200 years ago.
It's taken decades to nurture these trees from seed, but takes just moments to plant them in the Olympic Park. It was a pivotal stage for John.
Immediately you put one of these big trees into that landscape and you stand back from that and you think, suddenly you understand that this is a park and it has a human scale to it.
Trees will slow the rain's path to the rivers, but the riverbanks had to be protected from erosion. A 120 kilometres north of Stratford in Thetford, Norfolk, David Holland had a bioengineered solution.
When we first got the call, we were very excited. I think followed then by the realisation that we had to grow over 380,000 wetland plants. The excitement then quickly turned to thinking and planning how we were actually going to deliver this on the ground now.
Individually planting each one would be impossible. So David and his team grew the plants in coconut coir matting, which could be quickly gathered and drained for transport to the park. Staying true to this project's ethos, the wetland plants will be returning to where they actually started life.
Seed was collected from existing rivers in the park 2 years in advance. We used the seed then to germinate and grow on into coir. So essentially, a small part of Stratford has gone full circle. You can actually now start to envisage the profile and the way that the riverbank and the wetlands will look. This will give confidence throughout the world that these bioengineering techniques can be used to increase biodiversity and replace some of these horrible, nasty, hard engineering solutions that have been used for so long.
The woodlands and wetlands will create rich, diverse habitats. But it doesn't end there. Over 700 specialist installations will be created for wildlife, such as bats, birds, insects and otters. The Olympic Park will create a new green lung for London, helping to reduce urban heat and cut pollution. The landscape will also enhance East Londoners' lives, with the largest public park created in Britain for 150 years, right on their doorstep. London 2012 set out to revolutionise the biggest sporting event on earth, and seized upon the chance to revive a much neglected area of the city. Cleansing the pollution of a bygone industrial age, whilst constructing world-class stadiums with their long-term future at the forefront of design. The venues will be complete 1 year ahead of the Games. But this is a project that will undoubtedly have influence for centuries to come.
The wonderful thing about landscape and landscape architecture is that it looks good on day one, but on year 100 it looks even better.
Britain has played its part in shaping the Olympic movement. During the 1908 London Olympics, taking part began to matter just as much as winning gold. London's 1948 Games were a post-war celebration and led to the first Paralympics. In 2012, Britain hopes to leave its mark once again.
Every major decision we take with enormous care, because we know the responsibility there is in this one-off chance to reshape a part of London which deserved this for years.
London 2012's success will not solely depend on a memorable Games. Its ambition was to leave a sustainable legacy by transforming East London, prioritising community well-being, using minimal natural resources, whilst improving the environment.
We have to learn to live within that one planet that we have, and we hope that this part is an example of how we achieve that in the 21st century.
Every nation dreams of winning Olympic gold, but in building the Olympic Park, Britain is also going for green.